to the top of Down Under. This week we're heading to Kununurra to set up a base camp and to do some day trips out from there. There's plenty available, but on the way there's one spot I would like to show you that has a little bit of history to it. For most visitors to the region, Kununurra is the gateway to the Kimberley. Within an hour's drive of Kununurra though, you do have a wide array of attractions available to those that want to explore areas away from the crowds. First up, I'm heading for a spot full of history that's located in the Parry Lagoons Nature Reserve, 68 kilometres northwest from Kununurra on the Great Northern Highway heading towards Wyndham. Ronnie is stuck on the border due to a large bushfire, so until he gets here, I'll be rolling solo on this expedition. Between Maggie Creek and Rotto Creek is a turn to the east for the old Halls Creek Road. Now, before we delve into the history of this track, the first point of interest is a place called Alligator or Crocodile Waterhole, appropriately named. This is Parry Lagoons Nature Reserve. You've got all these beautiful big baobab trees around you, so iconic for the Kimberley area. The track so far is a little bit eroded and you can't camp in here, so you just have to make it a day trip, bring some lunch along. It's the perfect spot for that. Not too far into the track and you're already at the turn off to Crocodile Hole. The baobab trees that line this track are iconic of the Kimberley. Known also as the upside down tree, Dreamtime Stories try to explain the reason for the baobab's appearance during the dry season. I was told by the locals that this is a good spot for barramundi as well as the crocodiles, but this chap here has been kind enough to show us his catch. We call these cherubin in Queensland. They're like an oversized yabby or a giant prawn, freshwater prawn, and they make a great meal. These are a good size. Cherubin is one of the Aboriginal names for the freshwater prawn. For the local mob, cherubin are considered a delicacy. This whole track I've been looking, scouting, and oh wow, I see it now. This is a good spot. This is what I've been looking for. This is why I've done this track, even though the surrounds are beautiful, the lagoons and the baobab trees. Yeah, this is what I'm here for. The hands that put these pavers into the ground were convicts back in the late 1800s, and these form part of the curbing for the road down from Wyndham to Halls Creek. There was a gold rush at Halls Creek and word got around pretty quick and thousands of men flocked to the area. We had 5,000 or so come down from Wyndham, countless others from Queensland. So we're talking 10 to 15,000 men all up, but not all of them made it to Halls Creek. The journey down was really rough. They had to deal with crocodile-infested lagoons, waterless deserts to cross as well. And once they got to Halls Creek, the conditions weren't too good there either. Things like scurvy killed a lot of men, unfortunately. But this section of track that I've pulled up on, the curbing is actually on both sides of the road. I'm going to take a couple of pictures of this little piece of history. Although this road used to run all the way south to Halls Creek, nowadays only 13 kilometres still remain as time has eroded the history of that era. After the break, more from around Kununurra. Heading southeast again, Parry Creek Road is an alternative to running along the highway back to Kununurra. This is where you get to cross the mighty Ord River on Ivanhoe Crossing, which is only 10 minutes from the town of Kununurra. It flows all year round and it's impassable in the wet season. It's one of those iconic places that everyone gets a photo of their four-wheel drive coming across. It's a good spot for barra fishing, but also keep in mind that saltwater crocodiles inhabit this area. Just keep your eyes on the lookout for traffic. There's traffic coming both ways, and there's two sections to the crossing. The first one, the concrete causeway, is quite smooth, but at the end of the second one the rocks are a bit lumpy, so just be prepared for that. You will roll around a little bit, fairly fast flowing water too. Back in Kununurra, we're going to swap the cruiser for the boat and go exploring Lake Kununurra with its rock art and gorges. Just let me know how deep you want it to be.
Yeah, no worries. Keep on coming.
This is so good having communications to whoever's on the boat.
Yeah, I think I'm floating there now, mate. I've got enough to launch if you want to hold her there.
No dramas, I'll unlatch it from the front.
Thank you, we'll get this engine running. I reckon I got the easier job. Enzo's got to back down for me, whereas I get to keep my feet dry and drive the boat off.
Okay, that was pretty easy. This is a great boat ramp.
I like a boat that comes on and off the trailer without stress.
Good day for it out there, BJ.
Gorgeous day, Benzo. As soon as you're parked up, come and jump on board. This place is absolutely begging to be explored.
Alrighty, I won't be a minute.
It's pretty shallow, the channel out of this little spot here where the boat ramp is on Lake Kununurra. I know it drops between 0.8 to 1.2 of a metre in sections. So you don't whip out of here. It's 5 knots going through this part of the bay before we get out into the main lake. You want to take it nice and slow and steady because she's actually pretty shallow. How good is this looking for a day out in the boat?
Because the water's so stable in this lake, this is the reason why we've got such beautiful fauna and flora around us.
It's a ecosystem, isn't it?
Yeah, and the water is crystal clear.
Anywhere in particular?
Actually, keep heading out this way. There's a massive rock formation on the other side here, and we might even pull up and go and explore that rock formation.
Is that Elephant Rock?
That's the one.
Alright, well, hang on, because we're going to get going.
From the boat ramp at Lily Creek Lagoon, it is less than 7 kilometres by boat to a point of interest at the base of Elephant Rock.
from the shore?
Yeah, there's a few freshwater crocodiles here, but they're a really good size. I was thinking about going for a swim, but I'm having second thoughts now.
I am too. Besides, you know, water temperature's down to low 20s.
Yeah.
I'm a Queenslander that likes cool water.
Alright, I'll grab the front.
Okay, buddy.
After the break, I will show you why I wanted to visit this spot. Alright, I'll take BJ his boots and we are ready to rumble. Now, although this vegetation does look beautiful, you do have to be a little bit careful. For example, this pandanus palm here, the leaves on it, the edges are actually serrated. So if you brush past this, it's going to rip you up. So whenever you're on a walking track, steer clear of this because it'll do some damage. It's not too far up here, I don't think. Check this out.
Oh, yeah,
That is... Hey?
I just found that over there on the ground.
No, that's not from this snake. Look at the size difference. You reckon?
Maybe. There's more of him there.
That's enormous.
He shedded his skin all the way over to that hill.
Yeah, wow.
Mine looks pretty small.
That is a big snake. Do you remember that olive python in Wyndham last
I
year?
reckon that's a python too.
Yeah,
he wasn't happy to see us.
He was the length of my car. He was enormous. Yeah, cool. Hopefully don't run into the live version of that.
Hey, that looks like what we're heading for up there, right?
It does too, doesn't it?
What are here?
There is, isn't there? So many different things on this wall here. It looks like a big crocodile there.
Is that fruit bat hanging down?
Yeah, it's like a shopping list for what's in the area, isn't it?
Turtle, yeah. Well, you think about it. Protection from a lot of the weather here.
Yeah.
Nice place to have a fire, looking out over the river. Even before the dam was here, there still would have been a river.
Yep, beautiful.
You can come here and go, oh, that's right, we caught a lot of good feed here, didn't we?
You just have to remember when you're visiting this place not to touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're allowed to visit, but don't touch.
Absolutely
How
stunning.
awesome is that artwork? It's still preserved pretty well.
And it's large, isn't it? It's a good size.
It is a really good size. There's a lot here for probably about 2-3 k's from camp.
Yeah, not far at all, just across the water. But look at this, the wasp nests.
Yeah,
So many.
Big wasp nest. Wow, they go all the way up too. It's truth. And
Hopefully,
there's more paintings around that way past us too.
this is very cool.
Give me
I'm
5 minutes, I'm going to soak this up. This is awesome.
I'm going to go and explore a bit more.
Well, this is a pretty cool spot, babe.
It's very special, isn't it?
It is. It is.
And we've only just started exploring.
Yep. Thinking the same thing. We've got like 50 odd k's to get to the dam wall.
Yeah, that's supposed to be really good as well.
Ladies first.
This fridge is usually used to keep our bait nice and fresh. Today on a day trip we use it to keep our lunch nice and cold. It sure beats having ice in an esky and it melting and getting soggy sandwiches. And it's such a beautiful spot here. We're going to stop for a moment and enjoy our lunch.
Yeah, I get up and I may fall right back down.
Before we get to the dam wall, I'm thinking, I know there's some nice big canyons there.
Is it?
I'll show you that on the way.
You know more about this place than I do.
I haven't actually been right up here, but I spent a lot of time on Google Earth. I got no life, wait a minute. Yeah.
Alright, show me these canyons.
Canyons? Oh, I think it's called Carlton Canyon. Let's see if we can find it, eh?
Yeah, so sure I'll have my doubts, but I must keep pushing through. Yeah, I get up and I may fall right back down, but your love lives
One thing to bear in mind running up Lake Kununurra is how shallow the river is in sections.
Alright, come back. Water again. Well, I would have liked to take you all the way to the dam wall, Ken. This is Charlton's Gorge now.
Absolutely beautiful.
It is spectacular, but we didn't get away till about lunchtime, so we're kind of running out of daylight here.
We are a little bit, aren't we?
And this river isn't exactly plain sailing through here. We've gone a couple of times from 10 metres deep to less than 0.6 really.
And that weed, you just can't tell what the depth of the water is.
No, so if you watch my little sounder, I'm all over the place trying to find some...
And there's logs amongst it. At one stage we had to reverse up.
Most people would jump on a charter. There's one actually behind us at the moment. Come up the high-speed boat. Those guys are doing it every day.
It's a great option.
And that is still an all-day event for you if you want to go with that too.
Yeah.
So what we might do is call it quits here, spin around, head back before we lose all this light, because I've got to get through that fast water spot.
Yeah, so explain the fast water.
Okay, fast water is where the river gets narrow, but it also gets shallow, so the water speeds up and end up with all this turbulence. Problem with that is you can't pick where the deep water is and where the rocks are.
Yeah, and you can end up in the reeds, all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, the reeds, the logs. We were talking to some people only a couple of days ago, they got hooked up in a tree. Kind of like our new boat, eh? I don't want to do that. So I'm thinking, flip a coin, let's go back.
Yep.
We've seen, this is so typical to the Kimberleys, but it's freshwater, which is the first time we've been in a dam impoundment like this, and it's pretty spectacular.
It is. Plenty of species of birds, crocodiles. You'll see the crocodiles jumping into the water as you motor up. It's a really special place.
It is, and we're still probably 20 k's off the dam wall, so at the speed that we've been going, that's going to take us an hour or so. And
another option too is to drive there.
Well, that's the thing, you can drive about 60 k's from Kununurra all the way out to the dam wall. You can actually camp out on the Lake Argyle or River Dam, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's a spectacular spot in itself. I'm loving this place, but I want to get back before dark.
Yeah, we need some light for that motor back for sure. Yep. Dodge those logs.
Well, I tell you what, I've set the trail here.
You'd like me to chauffeur you, would you?
Sounds good.
All righto, hang on. You know I'm a lead foot.
I do, actually.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were soaking up the sights along Lake Kununurra, but I've jumped back in my cruiser to go and check out a couple more spots not too far up the road. Molly's Spring is just a short drive in from the main highway. It's a kilometre-long walk into the waterhole, and they say to allow 30 minutes. On the way in, there is a picnic spot, but I've got my water bottle, my hat and my boots. It's straight to that waterhole for me. You can actually see little fish in the water here. It's so clear. They've got a great little ecosystem happening here. This is perfect for the heat of the day to have a swim. And all this just 30 kilometres from Kununurra. Pretty special spot. Well, this was a real surprise to find such a compact little swimming hole complete with waterfall. Loved it. However, we have to move on and see what the rest of the area has to offer. From Molly Springs is our next location. The locals tell me that there should be some rock art tucked up near the Deception Ranges, so we'll see if we can find it. This next area that I'm heading into, the bull dust is quite thick in some sections. There's tracks going everywhere, so if you're not confident in recovering your own vehicle and you don't have a great sense of direction, it's probably not the track for you. It would be best to get a local guide to help you navigate through this area. So you got to keep your wits about you and head for that range over there. Hopefully we'll be there soon. Really thick bull dust coming through this section. Come up to the Deception Ranges and they're absolutely beautiful at the moment. The light is on the right side of them. Wow, I didn't think I'd need four-wheel drive here. You have to weave through the trees and the bull dust is really thick in some sections as well. This whole area has been ablaze for the last couple of days. And I'm supposed to meet up with Ronnie Morgan, but he's stuck further up. They've closed the highway because the fire is just so intense. So he rang me up and he said, Pen, just carry on, keep exploring, I'll catch up with you later. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm coming past these beautiful escarpments. It's absolutely stunning. There's been a fire through here in the last couple of days and it's been really hard to see where the track is to come into here. The sunlight has hit these ranges now. Surely there's some art up in there. Now, if there is, this is all because we spoke to some local people. If you can, when you're travelling, always talk to the locals. They will point you in the right direction. Now, with rock art, they say that it's in the best locations on the country. And you can see here, this is a prime spot for them. They've got flowing water out of a spring here, perfect to do your painting up here. So let's keep heading this way and fingers crossed that this is the spot. The paintings here are a little bit faded. They've been weathered by the elements, but what is really cool about this location is the grand scale of the art. It stretches both directions on this escarpment. I'd say all up a good 100 metres long. And also it's in two different levels. I'm on the top level here, so you can walk along the edge and just explore, looking up under the crevices and also towards the higher peaks. This is a really cool spot. I've walked all along this escarpment looking at all the art, and I've picked this one out as my favourite. It's not my story to tell, and I'm just guessing that this is a barramundi, but it's still clearly defined with good colour in it. And I'd like to thank the local mob for allowing us to come in here and to view this. I know it's a special place to them, so thank you. I've just gotten word that the highway is open again and Ronnie is on his way. So I'll catch up with him and we'll bring you more locations from the Kimberley next week on TODU.